Just want to give you a little tour around a 68 Mustang that we're finishing up here, getting ready to deliver it to a customer. Just give you a little inside scoop on some of the little things that we did. This car is almost, would say somewhat of a factory rebuild, but does have a lot of little intricate pieces such as fancy gauges, nice little small block Ford 427 that we do. And just come on, take a look, and show you the exhaust and that sort of thing. Okay, I'm going to start from the rear of the car and move forward and just give you a couple little brief synopsis on stuff that we've done. Back up here so you can see. This is a nice 68 model Mustang, fully restored. We'll start with the fuel tank. As you see, it's fresh, it's new. This is recommended for any and all of our crate engines. Guys that are buying a custom built engine or crate engine from us, always think about replacing the fuel tank. You never know what's inside of it. This is a 1968 model, so you can imagine. This particular customer decided to not do the 9-inch that we typically put under here. They just kept the stock 8-inch, and also opted out of traction bars. We would typically use a CalTrac system to reduce wheel hop. The car actually functions very well, rides very well with this. It might be something that they decide to upgrade in the future, as well as the rear drum brakes, go to like a Willwood disc, internal parking brake type system. Don't mind a little bit of the spottiness and dirtiness. We've actually put about 650 miles on this car just to make sure, shake it down, make sure everything is good. No leaks, creaks, or rattles. The exhaust system, you'll notice nice stainless steel mandrel bent, slash cut tips. This is all 3-inch. This actually starts life as a bolt-in kit from MAGNAFLOW, and then we modify it. This is a nice 3-inch stainless system from them, and it's got the X-pipe. Fits really, really tight in the car. It doesn't hang too low. We buy these kits, and basically you'll notice a couple extra welds up here. What this is we buy the system for its direct bolt-in function, and it's a little bit cheaper than if you have us completely custom build an exhaust system. You're looking at about $750 for their system. It does fit very, very well. But once we get up front here, depending on the headers that we're going to be used, we may or may not have to do a junction point. So what you'll see is we used a Doug's Tri-Y mid-length header, which actually is really nice for ground clearance. You'll notice that the upsweep right here keeps it really nice. A typical long tube is going to hang real low, which, some applications that's fine, but in this application we want a good ground clearance, so we end up building this mandrel bend to meet up with our headers. And this is a nice piece. Basically, fit and finish is really professional. One thing I'll point out is there's an O2 cap here, or a bung, that's been welded in. Even though this is carbureted, and we do tune the engines on the dyno, every time we put them in a car, the tune-up does change via the headers, exhaust system that we're running, transmission, air intake system, you name it. So what we'll do is fine-tune the car with the O2 sensor in the system. So anytime we're doing a build for somebody, that is something we would do. This car uses an automatic. It's a C4 Street Fighter from TCI. Uses a QuickTime spun steel SFI approved bell housing, and then mated to our 427. This is just a small block Ford Windsor 427. They aren't going to run the car hard, so they didn't opt for an upgraded pan, which is fine. They're just going to kind of drive this thing around town. Probably more than enough power for this car, and who plans to be driving it. Suspension system, more or less stock stuff, all new, fresh bushings, you name it. Up top, we've got a Chris Alston CHASSISWORKS. That's a VariaShock coilover system. Allows you to adjust the ride height. This car sits pretty nice. We didn't sink it too deep, but you'll see there is on this side too. So we've opted to run a lot of the wiring outside in the fender well to kind of clean up the engine compartment. So that is one nice thing. I'll go ahead and drop this car down and show you a little bit more. Again, it's a 68 Mustang. You can tell by the outside, beautiful little fit and finish of this car. I'm gonna miss this thing. Okay, so here's inside of the 68 Mustang. You'll see the interior door panels all painted. The metal part obviously is painted the same color as the exterior of the car. All new handles and hardware. Just nice fit and finish with all that stuff. You repaint a car, and that's usually the stuff that stands out when you don't replace it. This here, just using a vintage air under dash unit. That one wire you see there, the white wire, is actually to calibrate the electronic gauges. All the original switches are now electronically controlled, so that's what that wire is. You just dial it in and we're ready to rock and roll. You'll see the dash. I mean, it's one of the things that I really like about the 68 Mustangs is the dashboard. Basically, we're using, this here's a DAKOTA, their VHX series. I'm not much of a digital fan myself, but some people are. But these VHXs are beautiful. Turn the AC and the heat off here. So it's all blue, and that's just what the customer wanted. These are usually offered in, I think you can get them in green, red, a couple different colors, and these are just nice because it gives it kind of a vintage look, but it's got a little bit of a newer look to it as well. But a nice little feature. If you're not familiar with the Dakotas, the nice thing is how you dial all those in. You can set the speed, you can set your fuel level. It's all customizable, so that is one nice feature. Of course, just got a regular radio, chrome bezeling around it. The dashboards, you know, this is a camera case finish. We can do various things. This actually comes from DAKOTA, but we have in the past done full billet, backing plates basically, custom gauge layouts, really whatever you want. The sky's the limit. It's just a matter of what the customer desires and really how much they want to spend. This is I Did It tilt column, which is nice for one of these cars. The interior is in very good shape. These are all original seats, believe it or not. Some of the rear part here, those quarter panel pieces, all of that stuff's just new reproduction. The seats again in the rear, these are all original seats. We do have a panel in the back. That there, of course, is our package tray with the speakers. We use all stainless hardware inside the car. Nice little finish for 68, you know, resto mod. So we'll get out of the interior and show you a little bit in the engine compartment. Okay, so pretty basic once again. I mean, this isn't one of our craziest builds by any stretch of the matter, but still really nice fit and finish, especially for a vehicle that has power brakes, AC, power steering, all the amenities. This one is carbureted, so it uses our quick fuel 750 carburetor. You'll notice this air filter. 68 Mustang owners, when you put a Windsor in these cars, even with a, depending on what you're running for front suspension, you've got the total cost involved, Chris ALSTON stuff, you know, there's various Mustang 2 front ends. This is all factory type geometry stuff. So the motor sits relatively high. If you do not have a cowl hood, you'll notice it's a factory hood, so it's very low. And the thing about it is the air filter is very, very close. You can tell that at one point it has been machined to be lowered, but we have some little bit of rubbage. You know, they wanted a different air filter. You'll notice these welds. This is actually, they wanted to keep the weld, but in any stretch we would have just machined this off or hand die grind it and repolish it so you wouldn't notice this piece has been put in. But that was to camp the air filter to get more clearance for the hood as well. Now, I'm not going to lie, this air filter assembly does kind of cut some power. And that's one of the things that when I'm selling engines to people, that air filter is a big deal. You know, this probably cut about 50 horse, 50 foot-pounds, believe it or not, right out of the bottom end of this motor. So, you know, they don't really care for the power, but if we were really conscientious on keeping our 500 to 550 horsepower level, we would definitely be doing something different on the air filter. But nonetheless, custom made. Our strut rod package, we build these. It sandwiches the pinch weld on the firewall, which is nice and gives some extra support to the strut towers, a little bit nicer than what you would get from the factory. The coilovers, the various shocks, do have a nice little cap. There's a greaser fitting on the top. This all gets covered up. You actually take the greaser out and the bolt goes in its place. Just a nice little fit and finish there. All of our cars, we really opt to try and get guys stainless hardware. You're looking at, you know, for all these stainless button heads and the washers, you'll notice all of our hardware is all stainless. It's clean.
and it will not rust. It won't, you know, go away. The finish just looks great. You're looking at about $100 to $150 difference in cost, and it's all fresh, new. Most guys, I haven't had really anybody opt out of that. So just something to think about. This is a radiator package that we sell. This is a Northern package, direct type replacement. You'll notice there's a little bracket we make in here. This is actually a 390 radiator. This is just to kick it over. There's the original mounting point, there's the new mounting point, and a small spacer. We do this because the radiator's got a little more capacity. It's a little wider. This one here, because the pulley system uses a driver side inlet water pump, that also will accommodate the driver side lower radiator hose. You can't really see it, but it's down in here. So twin spall fans. See if I can get a good shot here. Twin spall fans. You'll get the overflow canister, the temp control switching, and all the relays for it. That's one of our packages specific for this car. March pulley and bracket system uses an 87 through 93 Mustang power steering pump, reverse rotation water pump, and a 100 amp chrome one wire alternator. AC compressor, small sand-end compressor. Very tight in here, but it all fits. You'll notice all of our line kits, it's all braided. Some people opt for the braid black. It's just a nylon braid. We also do the stainless braid. All of our power steering lines, same way, all hand built. We recommend the MSD and this coil on all of our engine packages. It's a 6AL digital box that has a rev limiter located under that little tab. This is for two reasons. The motor is going to start better, idle better, and just flat out run better. And we're protected by the rev limiter, just in case the customer wants to rip through the gears. The coil, it's a nice little blaster coil. It's a Blaster SS, it's square. I prefer these over the cylindrical ones, but again, customer preference will always outweigh my preference. We've got a custom-made canister here. This is actually for the pedal pump, when you pump the pedal for the washer fluid. And it's actually cut on an angle here, so that way it looks like it's standing straight up, but it's angle cut. Just little things like that when you have a car built by us that we concentrate on. And the sky's the limit. Again, you know, we can have billet hinges, we could have various different stuff. But wiring, very, very, very picky about our wiring. That's why you see there's not a lot that's really even exposed. This is the single most important thing when putting a car together, that you've got a good wiring system and that it's done properly. 90% of all problems and failures always come back to wiring. So this is our 68 Fastback for a local client. Really nice car. And just to give you a kind of a brief overview, you know, a car like this that comes to us from a 1968 standpoint, this car was very solid. No real bunches of rust in the quarters or anything like that. Start to finish, new wheels, tires, some suspension mods, transmission, interior mods, good little 427 small block Ford motor, you know, cooling system, headers, you name it. This kind of car you should expect to spend somewhere between $60,000 and $80,000. You know, and you get it the way that you want the car. Custom painted blocks to whatever you kind of want there. Custom air filters. We do some pretty wild stuff. This just give you an idea of the sound of our 427, 500 horse, 500 foot-pounds pump gas motor. That's out of 3-inch stainless mandrel bent, inch and 3/4 primary tube header, all shelf pieces except for a little bit of extra work from us. It's got a nice little muscle car tone